Hi, my name is Kara Nebuker. I'm going to be giving a presentation on the article entitled A Considered Opinion, Diversity, Tragedy, and the Schools. It was written by Diane Ravitch, I hope I pronounced that right, and she is a research professor of education at New York University. She received a bachelor's degree from Wellesley College and a PhD in history from Columbia University Graduate School. She's written many books on education and the effects of historical events on our education, emphasizing in ethnic effects. The goal of my presentation and the goal of this article was to help us as teachers to develop our own opinion of the effects of cultural diversity in our classrooms and also how we're going to address them. I want you guys to think of this focus question as you listen to my presentation. These two focus questions. The first one is, what is the appropriate balance between teaching an American culture on the one hand and teaching about the contributions of various ethnic and racial minorities on the other? And is this an either-or situation at all? So, do we only teach American culture? Do we only teach the contributions of various ethnic and racial minorities? Or can we teach both? Let's look at some two key terms. The first term is assimilation. Assimilation is defined in the dictionary to bring into conformity with the customs, attitudes, and etc. of a group or nation. In our case, we're discussing the conformity with American culture as immigrants move into the country. The second term is multicultural education. This is the de-emphasizing of a common American culture and teaching students to take pride in their racial, ethnic, and national origins. If you remember our focus question, it discusses the difference or the balance between American culture and contributions of various ethnic groups. So essentially we're comparing assimilation and multicultural education. First, let's talk about the pros and cons of assimilation in education. The first pro is that we are giving our students the knowledge and skills to succeed as an adult. They learn to speak, read, and write a common language. They have an understanding of American history, mathematics, and science. This is for everyone. These are the things they will learn. The cons are that this ignores the strengths that immigrants have to offer. When immigrants come into our country, or when students grow up in homes of parents who lived in other countries, they bring an optimism, love of life, and understanding of their own history and culture that oftentimes is not taught in school. It presumes that assimilation presumes that American culture is static, unchanging. This is completely contrary to our idea of a melting pot, that America is made up of many different cultures. Multicultural education. Our pros are inclusion, choice, pride in one's ethnic and national origins. This is pretty much addressing the idea of everyone has their own choice in what things they want to learn in school, and if they want to learn the history of their own country or the world even. Many schools in America don't teach world history because they're unsure of how to address it. The cons of multicultural education are, the first one pretty much encompasses the last two. It says what is taught in school will vary on ethnic makeup. This means that a teacher has to create lessons depending on the makeup of their classrooms. This causes a loss of sense in American culture, and it divides children along racial and ethnic lines, causing resentment and alienation. This is a big issue with multicultural education. Now, I want to take a second and make a comparison with an everyday life situation that we all understand. This is my family. Me and my brothers are adopted. My two brothers are Native American and I'm of Italian descent. Both my parents are mixed European descent. Now, if my parents used these assimilation and multicultural education to raise my family, it would be two very different teaching methods for them. If they used assimilation, they would have taught each of us the same sense of principles and skills to help us through life, oftentimes ignoring or setting aside our individual needs. If they used multicultural education, they may have taught us so differently that our communication or our social barriers would be a lot harder to overcome. So how do we find the balance between these two for our students and also in our lives? The ultimate lesson is human equality. We must focus on teaching our students that schools and families should teach them that we're all in the same boat, all members of one society, regardless of race, ethnic, or place of origin. The second thing, as teachers, we should honor the strong and positive values that children bring from home. We should also give students access to the best American culture, American heritage they have. To me, this just means that we're supposed to give our students the most positive and promising future that they can have, but also help them understand where they came from. If we don't understand our past, how will we be able to better our future? I hope that you've learned things from my presentation, and thanks for listening. Thanks, bye.